months of painstaking research, tens of thousands of pounds, 0 enemy pilots blinded. Welcome to the bunker. I'm Professor Von Blunder, and today we're talking about one of the most gloriously stupid anti-aircraft weapons ever conceived by the British military mind. Picture this. It's World War II. German bombers are screaming across the English Channel at low altitude, strafing your ships and blowing up your airfields. You need a weapon. Something effective. Something reliable. Something that can actually hit a fast-moving target in the dark. So naturally, British scientists decided to build a giant camera flash. I'm not kidding. They called it the Dazzle Gun. The idea was simple, elegant, and catastrophically idiotic. Mount 6 gigantic flashbulbs on a spindle, add a huge curved mirror, point it at an attacking pilot. Flash. Boom. Instant blindness. Problem solved. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as it turns out, absolutely everything. This is the story of how Britain's finest scientific minds spent months developing an elaborate light show that couldn't blind a pilot, couldn't stop an attack, and couldn't even be operated in the one condition it was designed for: darkness. Grab your sunglasses and say a prayer for Private Timmy. He's about to have a very bright day. The mastermind behind this brilliance was a man named Tyrrell, who attacked the Dazzle Gun project with what the records describe as his usual energy. That's British, for he had absolutely no idea this was doomed, but went all in anyway. The weapon worked on a simple principle. You know how a camera flash can temporarily blind you if someone takes a photo too close to your face? Well, Tyrrell figured if a little flash can annoy you at a party, a massive industrial flash could blind a Nazi pilot mid-attack. Genius. Think of it like a camera flash, except the size of a small car, powered by industrial voltage, and aimed at someone trying to kill you. The design was elaborate. 6 gigantic flashbulbs mounted on a rotating spindle. Behind them, a great curved mirror made of polished metal to focus and amplify the light. A trigger device to fire the bulbs in sequence. The whole thing was supposed to project a sudden, searing blaze of light directly into the cockpit of an attacking aircraft, temporarily blinding the pilot and spoiling his aim. In military engineering terms, that means they built a disco strobe light and hoped it would stop the Luftwaffe. Most of the research was carried out at the laboratories of the General Electric Company in Wembley. These were serious scientists, educated men, people with degrees, and they spent weeks developing special types of flash lamp specifically designed to explode with maximum brightness. Now, if you were designing an anti-aircraft weapon, what would you prioritize? Effectiveness? Reliability? Safety? Well, they chose exploding glass hazard. The Dazzle Gun was ready for testing. What could possibly go wrong in a darkened laboratory filled with industrial-strength flashbulbs and heavy velvet curtains? Spoiler alert, everything. Testing began in a darkened corridor at the GEC laboratories. The scientists gathered. The lights went out. They fired the first flashbulb, and it exploded. Glass shrapnel showered over the assembled scientists like the world's most dangerous confetti. But did they stop? Of course not. This was Britain. They had a war to win and a ridiculous weapon to perfect. So they tried again. Second test, the bulb exploded and set the heavy velvet curtains on fire. Third test, explosion, fire, and someone lost their glasses. In tactical terms, that means they turned a laboratory into a recurring safety hazard and called it progress. The destruction toll was mounting fast. Multiple bulb explosions, multiple curtain fires, multiple trips to sweep up glass, and 0 successful tests. But Tyrrell was undeterred. The team needed to conduct illumination tests at night to measure how bright the flash actually was, so they crept around the Wembley district after dark, flashing giant industrial bulbs into the sky. Naturally, the local police assumed they were either spies or lunatics and pounced on them, more than once. Eventually, they decided to bring the testing indoors. They rigged up a model ship in the biggest room in the laboratory and armed it with the prototype Dazzle Gun. To simulate an attacking aircraft, They used the most advanced technology available, a canteen tea-trolley. I am not making this up. A tea-trolley, the kind you wheel biscuits around on. Terrell, ever the hands-on engineer, volunteered to lie prone on the trolley while his colleagues propelled him violently down the laboratory floor. Private Timmy, strapped to the tea-trolley of doom, was launched across the lab again and again while the Dazzle Gun flashed on and off directly into his face. The results were highly promising, assuming your goal was to blind your own test subject and give him a concussion. Timmy couldn't see for 20 minutes. The scientists called it a success. Flushed with their tea-trolley triumph, the team added an additional mirror and designed a rapid reloading mechanism. This upgraded version could fire 4 flashes in each mirror at short intervals. They calculated illumination levels through civil, nautical, and astronomical twilight. They measured the reflection properties of ruffled water on a nearby canal. They did everything except ask the obvious question: will this actually work? At the end of September, they hauled the Dazzle Gun to Worthydown Airfield for its first full-scale trial. A pilot named Curry volunteered to dive from the night sky toward the darkened airfield while the gun crew fired at him. Curry came screaming down through the darkness. The crew aimed, they fired, and Curry saw a flicker of light, quote, as though someone had lit a large match. That's it, a large match. Months of research, industrial flashbulbs, polished mirrors, advanced reloading mechanisms. And from the cockpit, it looked like someone struck a match. But they didn't give up. They took the Dazzle Gun to sea for trials in a Channel convoy. And that's when someone finally noticed the fatal flaw. The weapon had to be aimed extremely accurately at the approaching target, like a rifle. Pinpoint precision. But here's the problem, and I want you to appreciate the full stupid beauty of this. The operators could not see to use their sights after dark. Let me repeat that in plain English. The weapon designed specifically to defend against night attacks could not be aimed at night because the people operating it couldn't see in the dark. In tactical terms, that means they built a flashlight that only works when you don't need a flashlight. 2 Dazzle Guns were manufactured for operational use. They were shipped to a naval store. They sat there, gathering dust, blinding no one. And eventually, someone with half a brain cast them on the scrap heap. Total enemy aircraft dazzled, 0. Total enemy pilots blinded, 0. Total curtains set on fire, at least 3. Poor Timmy, stationed at the naval store, never got his vision back to normal. So let's fire up the stupidity meter and rate this disaster out of 10. Money wasted? Oh, easily a 9 out of 10. Months of laboratory research at General Electric Company, custom-designed industrial flashbulbs, polished mirrors, 2 fully manufactured units, all for a weapon that performed worse than a book of matches. Enemies killed? 0 out of 10. Not a single German pilot was ever blinded, dazzled, or even mildly inconvenienced by the Dazzle Gun. The only casualties were British scientists and 1 very unfortunate tea-trolley. Collateral damage to Timmy? Solid 7 out of 10. Blinded repeatedly during testing, possibly concussed from the tea-trolley experiments. Covered in exploding glass at least once, and his night vision was never quite the same. Overall, stupidity score 8.5 out of 10. A masterpiece of circular failure. A weapon designed to work at night that cannot be operated at night. It's like inventing waterproof paper or a parachute that only opens on the ground. Absolutely magnificent. So here's my question for you. If you had unlimited research funding in 1940, what completely useless anti-aircraft weapon would you invent? A giant fly swatter? A really loud whistle? A strongly worded letter? Let me know in the comments. And someone please get Timmy some sunglasses. He still can't see. And we've got another test scheduled for Tuesday. This is Professor Von Blunder, signing off from the bunker. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and for the love of all that's holy, never let me near a tea-trolley.